Hi, it's me, Ingridine FP, and I wanted to address something that I've seen in the comments on my channel. As somebody who's LGBTQA plus, somebody said that I could choose to be asexual or to not be asexual. I could choose to be gay or not, basically. I can't choose it. It is not a choice. And this person was like, oh, well, this is just all speculation. Well, at a certain point, there is no speculation. At a certain point, you're using arguments that people historically have used to declare gayness and other deviations and perversions of sexuality as illnesses that needed to be cured through conversion therapy. Or worse. And I know that this person lives in another culture, but still, it doesn't really excuse you. I know that this person means well and is maybe ignorant about these topics, but I want this channel to be open to all sorts of people. And in order to do that, you need to curb the freedom of speech. I do not permit all sorts of freedom of speech on my channel. This isn't a democracy, and I'm the dictator, okay? So I can choose what I think is okay for me, for my own feeling of safety, and for other people's feeling of safety, the people that I want to attract to my channel. I don't want people to feel that they're... Gay people are always surrounded by homophobia. They did not choose to be gay. If I had a choice, most gay people would choose... We can say that we are proud of being gay, but we wish that we didn't have to face all the discrimination that came with it. So I think that most people, if they could choose before they were born, what would give them the easiest life, I think that nobody would choose to be gay. Because life as a gay person is more complicated, even here in the most progressive country in the world. I mean, maybe it's not the most, but it's one of the most progressive country for gay people. You can't make me change my sexuality any more than you can. It's like if you're telling people, if it was a disease, even if it was a disease, would you just tell people, like, don't have diabetes? No. I mean, people didn't choose to have diabetes. And well, the people who say that, it's a choice of lifestyle that made them get diabetes, no. Maybe diabetes wasn't a great example, but like, would you say, oh, don't have Down syndrome then? Like, people can't choose. And by the way, this isn't a disease. That's what in Sweden, people said, like, in the past, back when gayness was considered a disease, basically anything that wasn't straight was a disease, people started calling in from work and saying that they were sick, that they were ill. They could not come to work because they were gay, and homosexuality was a disease. So that's part of how the fighting that these LGBTQ community people in the past fought for their rights. So, and in the end, well, they got the rights, but there was a huge fight before we got to those rights. It's the same with feminism. We work hard towards getting towards those rights. So maybe I'm going too far with this one comment, but there have been other people who have also commented strange stuff. There was somebody who basically all of these are nice comments, or like people who don't really have a bad intention behind it, but you have to be careful when you talk about these kinds of topics, because you could really hit a nerve, and you could actually hit my nerves. And I'm a sensitive person. So sometimes you have to think a second before you theorize about topics. This isn't just about political correctness. This is also about like the thing that is just a theory to you is maybe a big part of another person's life. So there was somebody who was theorizing about asexuality and saying that, well, maybe it's because you didn't go through puberty and the hormones didn't like really develop right. And that is also kind of equating asexuality to a disease, which it is not. So I didn't get as mad about that because asexuality historically has not been recognized at all as anything. It's just been erased. So it wasn't like a historical argument that this person was making. The other person was making an argument that has been used in the past to oppress gay people. So that kind of hit me hard. There has been a person on here, a Swedish commenter. You know who you are. I love you, by the way, and I do love all of your comments. It's just that some of these a little bit like get on my nerves. A while back he was talking about how or he, I don't know if it's a he or a she. Who is it? Or any pronouns. This person was talking about the far right party, as if it's okay to talk about politics, but I wouldn't, no, I don't think I would want to have a discussion with a far right person who votes for the far right in my country. I don't think I want to talk to a person who votes on the far right in any country. And yes, because usually they're not open to debate. I think that at a certain point, there is debate, there is healthy debate, but there's a certain point where even debating with a person is hurtful. Like, if you're going to be talking to a person who dismisses everything that you are, I mean, yes, I'm white, but dismisses all of your friends who might come from other countries, who might be immigrants. I mean, my mother was technically an immigrant in this country, and she had to learn Swedish. Now this far-right political party is trying to limit the amount of interpreters in healthcare. And, well, that affects me in my job all the time. So the far right, that kind of affects my life. And I mean, it is hurtful if it's, if you're talking to an immigrant and like actively dismissing their claims. I happen to be a woman. The far right doesn't usually take a lot of women's issues seriously, or they think that they know best when actually it's the women who know best. The far right also has not been that great against LGBTQ rights, which I happen to be a gay person. I found out that one of the doctors at my work bought a MAGA hat. I mean, it's not the same thing as the far right, but still puts me on edge. You know, I don't really want to talk about politics on this channel. And I don't want to talk to anybody who feels like debate with the far right party is acceptable, really. Like, yes, you should hear the other side of the story. And I mean, I do. But at a certain point, you have to censor certain things in order to keep a peace of mind. And sometimes people being rude cannot be explained by freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means that you can't be like prosecuted for criticizing the government. It doesn't mean that you're allowed to just spout out insults at people on the street. Let's just say, I have a perfect example about this. There's a patient that I had to call. He had been at a male doctor, before, but then this male doctor was doing his internship. So his internship ended, and so this male doctor left my workplace. So then I took over because he was listed on me. So basically he was my patient at this little healthcare center that I work at. So this person had a sick leave that I had to call this patient to see if I would renew it. And he wanted benzo medicine. I didn't really feel like it was a great person to be giving benzos to. And so, well, I don't know. We got a little bit in a fight, but it wasn't really like a fight. It was just like, I hadn't even started telling him my reasons. It was like at the very, very beginning, actually, of this conversation, before we even started talking. Just the fact that he changed doctors, I guess that he was in a bad mood. But we can't do anything about that because, well, his doctor had left. So I had to inform him about that. I said, your doctor has left. I'm your doctor that is going to take care of you now. And tell me what do you need help with? And then he said that I was silly just like all the other women. Like all women are kind of not silly, but a little bit ditzy, or I don't know, the word in Swedish is flummig. I don't know what's the word is in other languages. He said, you're flummig, you're silly, like all the other women. And I'm like, excuse me, you can't say that. I mean, like I said, you can't say that. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, you can't say that, that's sexist. And he said, he was like, I can say whatever I want, this is a free country. And I was like, well, no, you can't say whatever you want because you're being rude. And then he said, you're a man hater. I can hear it. I can hear that you're a man hater. You're just sexist backwards. You know, the opposite of sexist for women, you're sexist to men. And I said, okay, if you think so. I don't think so, but what do you need help with? Do you want me to help you or not? Then I think he started realizing that he actually needed my help because he really wanted those benzos, but he didn't get those benzos. And I said, well, okay. And he said, oh, you're the worst doctor ever, you know. And I said, yeah, well, if you want to talk it through, we can meet up in 2 weeks. I can book a time. I booked a time, he never showed up. So obviously I must have scared him off. Yeah. So there are people who will use freedom of speech to really, they'll use it just to be mean to people, basically. And I once was friends with a guy who was a men's rights activist. We are not friends anymore, let's just say. We were we were kind of neighbors. And at a certain point, like, what was just arguments to him was actually pretty hurtful stuff to me. And I realized this wasn't a good relation that we had because all we were talking about was different arguments. I think that he was like an ENTP, so he loved debate, you know. And I didn't find it fun at all. Because I also suck at debating. So I didn't have any arguments. I mean, he was pretty good at constructing arguments, but, you know, he would keep using the fact I would get mad as a thing against me, you know, putting your emotions in, you know. But yeah, putting your emotions in, sometimes things aren't just theories and speculations and fun. If you're talking to somebody who is directly affected by what you're talking about, they have a right to get angry, and they have a right to cut off the conversation, and they have a right to say that, that you're not taking this seriously enough. What's funny is that often these people who are doing the debates, they think that they're the ones who are like, who have all the facts, you know? And yet at the same time, they think that the people who get mad afterwards are the ones who are taking it too seriously. Like, if you are spending that much time researching facts for your thing, then you are taking this you're taking this too seriously, and at the same time you're dismissing all the people that are affected by this. So you're really operating like in your own little world, in your own little bubble. And sometimes you need to see like that there are people for whom this isn't a joke, you know? So I think it's easy to go on YouTube and just comment something and think that you're doing it innocently, really. But actually, you need to think that I'm going to be reading this message, but I'm not the only person who's reading this message. There are other commenters out there who I maybe want to come on my channel, and they might get offended by what you're saying. So yes, I do want people to debate on my channels and to spark a discussion. But certain things that people say, if they're too controversial and might hurt me, then go somewhere else, you know? Don't talk to me. Because I get tired. And then I start like not wanting to talk to you. So I'll just not answer to your comments anymore. That's that's a pretty sad thing. But if you want to go debate somewhere else, I'll actually be happy about it. So yeah, I'll probably lose some people on this channel just because I'm posting this, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'll have some peace of mind finally. You know? So yeah, have a great day, everybody.